What is going on, you beautiful, beautiful bastards? Thank you all for stopping by today to talk about the Game Awards. Pretty damn solid show. Quite surprised by some of the announcements that popped up here. So really excited to talk about it. Going to try to get through this pretty quickly. As you see, change of scenery. We rented out a little house for a family get together for the holidays. So I actually had the place to myself tonight before the family comes in tomorrow. So perfect to just chill, watch the Game Awards, eat some pizza, and yeah, I figured, how about we get on here and then chat about it real quick while we're still in the moment, still in the hype cycle, if you will, for the Game Awards. And yeah, just like as a overall quick review before we really start diving into the meat and potatoes, I actually thought the show was pretty damn good. I think last year was a bit on the rougher side. I think really trimming down the show to make it a more, I don't even know what it ended up running, maybe 2 hours and 30 minutes, 3 hours or so. I felt like that was fine. I felt like the length was fine. Of course, you can always say, well, there's too much advertising, yada, yada. The Game Awards are just a commercial for, I get it, but it's just cool to kind of sit, relax, see what the landscape of gaming looks like for the next year and a half or so. And I think that this show definitely achieved that in a lot of ways. There were a lot of games here that we're going to get into that I had no expectations of realistically seeing pop up here. So I was just thrilled to see some of this stuff, show up at the Game Awards, especially, like I said, with the last 2 years. I don't know, 2020 was okay, but 2021 I really thought was rough. So I think this was a good recovery, and then this is kind of the template I would like to see used a lot more going forward, especially as you're seeing at the beginning of the show with Christopher Judge being up there and able to actually speak. And I wish there was a little bit more of that after you saw him go on for a bit. It seemed like a lot of the other people who were receiving their awards were cut short, which I do think that does kind of suck. But overall, I really thought this was a much, much better showing just in totality than the last couple years. So shout out to old Keeley. All right, so before we get into like the award prediction results and all that, I'm going to go through and just talk about some of the games here that caught my eye. Just going to try to make this as quick as possible. I don't want to go over all the games that we have already saw, 100 times, and just unless there was something significant here like a release date to talk about or just an extra piece of information that we didn't know before. So going to kind of just try to go through the highlights, the ones that really caught my attention. So first off, Supergiant, Hades. We have a sequel officially confirmed to Hades, a game that I enjoyed quite a bit. Thought it was pretty solid. Didn't do my full 10 runs or whatever, but got through one run and had a good time with Hades. It looks to be a more of the same, a lot of similarities with that trailer that we saw. Obviously, you're playing as a different main protagonist, but yeah, man, cool to see that Supergiant is coming back. I wonder how the fan base is going to react because this is like their first sequel, if I'm not mistaken. So I wonder if the fan base was wanting or anticipating a brand new IP. But Hades 2 is in development. We also, this is the biggest shocker and probably the thing that got me the most hyped out of anything. Ken Levine, his new game was officially revealed at the Game Awards, and it is a game called Judas. And if you don't know Ken Levine, he is the creator of BioShock, and Judas looks a lot like BioShock. Very heavy sci-fi, first-person perspective. One thing that I was just delighted to see is that it's only scheduled or planned to come out on next-gen consoles. It's about time we start ditching these last-gen console versions of games. So I'm glad that that's at least that's planned to be a next-gen only game, which I'm sure it's probably not dropping until 2024, 2025. But very just stoked to see Ken Levine's new game. Still no word on BioShock. It didn't pop up here. I think that would have been a cool 1-2 punch right there to just, have a big Take-Two fest at the Game Awards. But still no BioShock. This one I thought about not including this because it's just, I didn't really need this. Bayonetta Origins, it's like an origin story where you're playing as a young Bayonetta, and I don't know, it just kind of has like a sort of top-down-ish perspective, kind of old school Zelda vibes. It just kind of feels like Nintendo's way of making Bayonetta a family-friendly, more accessible to anybody's style of game. And I don't know, is that really what I am looking for? Not really from Bayonetta, but sure. It has a release date for March 17th, 2023. And next up, Suicide Squad. And the only reason I'm even including this here is, well, for one, it had a release date, but more than that is, and the release date is May, May 26, 2023. So it's trying to hit, mid 2023, which is exciting. And I wouldn't even say exciting until I saw this trailer, because there was actually like a story in this trailer that I would assume tied into some mission or some gameplay segment. And I thought the humor was a lot better in this one than I've seen before. I just kind of liked the tone across the board with this Suicide Squad trailer, cinematic trailer, whatever you want to call it. And it just kind of made me go, okay, well, the first time I saw the characters and I saw them interacting with one another, I just thought that was a way to introduce you to this world, and then we wouldn't really see anything else cinematic ever again. But then when I saw this, I was like, oh, is this going to be like a story-driven Rocksteady experience that you can just also play in this sort of live service mode? I really want to see more details surrounding this game. And if you guys know something that I don't, definitely let me know. It's impossible to keep up with everything, but that really caught my attention, because I was like, oh, okay, if this is the case, I'll happily jump into Suicide Squad if I can just play a story version of it. And also they had a cool little tribute at the end to Kevin Conroy, who had passed away, the what a lot of people believe is like the most iconic Batman voice of all time. And then he'll be reprising that role. That'll be, kind of the final Batman performance for Kevin Conroy in Suicide Squad. So that is at least cool. Next up, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. This looked unbelievable. This looked so damn good. And when you saw that thing where it wasn't like a flying mount, but Cal was like attached to this bird and he was sort of navigating it, or seemingly navigating it, I was like, holy shit, we got some Horizon vibes with that. It looked like maybe you could navigate the ship a little bit when you were flying the ship at the beginning of the trailer. There was just a lot in here that really, really, caught my attention. Just a new companion, seemingly. The scale of Star Wars Jedi Survivor was just mind-blowing to me. The first game was, it had a decent scale to it, but I don't know, I kind of felt like the first game was Respawn working in a tight window of, okay, look, here is we have this exclusive license until this time. We need you to crank out a game as quickly as you can, borrow some techniques from FromSoft, implement it into this Star Wars action adventure sort of experience, and see what you can crank out. And I don't know, I felt like even this just felt a little bit faster in the trailer we saw here for Jedi Survivor than I remember Jedi Fallen Order being. I could be wrong, but I hope that they kind of go away from that Souls style of combat and really lean into the essence of what makes a lightsaber unique to use in a sort of melee battle system. So I'm hoping that's what we get. We didn't, as far as I remember, we didn't get anything with the guns, which I would have to believe that you're going to be using the guns and having third-person shooting elements in the game as well, because Cal has a he has a pistol on his hip in like the big sort of what do you call it? Kind of the big logo shot or the sort of box art of the game that they put out there. Cal has a pistol on his hip, so I'm assuming there will be some third person shooting elements in there as well. And yeah, that got a release date for March 17th, 2023. So that's right around the fucking corner. And I don't know, I'm going to have to put my most anticipated games of 2023 together, but I don't know. Games with an official release date for 2023, I think that might be number one after that gameplay trailer. That gameplay trailer was fantastic. Next up, we had Kojima. We had him rear his head. Kojima popped up and revealed Death Stranding 2. Something that, had been long rumored. We kind of knew this was coming, or we thought this was coming, and it is officially confirmed. Running in Decima, again with help from Guerrilla. Just unbelievable visuals across the board. The character models look top tier as they did in the first game, but if I'm just being totally honest, I didn't like Death Stranding, the first game, really at all. I thought it had a compelling hook with the story, but actually playing the game, I just could not force myself to play through that. But here's to hoping there will be actually a little bit more gameplay focus in Death Stranding 2 and a little bit less walking and package delivering. And then, I don't know, maybe we can get past that a little bit. But I am excited to just see, Kojima's new game, see his new vision for where this story goes. I am at least compelled to give that a look. And this is also coming to PlayStation 5 only, so no cross-gen. You're not going to be playing it on the PS4, and so that is that is at least a very good thing. Horizon Forbidden West DLC titled Burning Shores. Right off the bat, they kick off the trailer and you are on your flying mount. That is just, I love it, man. I absolutely love it. The moment you unlock that in Forbidden West is just a magical fucking experience. But yeah, you're seeing the Hollywood lettering get destroyed, so you got some California vibes there. And this is releasing April 19th, 2023. I've kind of been itching to just jump back into Horizon, so that will be a good excuse to hop back into Forbidden West. This is one coming up next year that I had been really hoping to get something from Don't Nod, and then I was wanting something very specific. I was wanting Vampire 2. We didn't get Vampire 2, but what we did get is Banishers, I believe is the name. It's being created by Don't Nod, the creators of Life is Strange and Vampire, but I remember Don't Nod saying something to the effect of if Vampire sold X amount of copies that they would work on a sequel. I believe it hit the number, but I'm not 100% confident on that. But I'm imagining that this is a, new third-person action role-playing experience from Don't Nod, where they'll be taking a lot of those assets and ideas and implementing those into this new next-gen only version of their action RPG. And yeah, I'm excited to see this studio spread their wings a little bit. I thought that they were really on the right track with Vampires, so I'm hoping for the best here. I'm hoping they can really find their footing and get a big breakout title. Not that Life is Strange isn't a big breakout title, but it would be cool to see them, working outside of those parameters, I guess you can say. And they just put a window release for end of 2023, so that will probably get delayed into 2024. Okay, and next up, we had all those rumors of the new Crash game, and it was officially revealed. Crash Team Rumble. I don't know what to make of this. I kind of got once again a live service sort of vibe here with Crash Team Rumble, but I'm not saying that can't work within the Crash universe. I think that's probably one of the few universes that makes total sense in that market. Is it something that I want from Crash? Not really. I really want more than anything a Crash Bash remake. I would love to see that. Me and my buddy, we're just, for whatever reason, huge fans of that game specifically, and I would like to see something like that return, or just some of those mini games return into some multiplayer couch co-op setting for a Crash game. But yeah, if this is allowing for offline play, this Crash Team Rumble, I know me and my buddy will be all over Crash Team Rumble, the new CTR, if you will. And next up is, maybe, let's see, I should have put together like a list of what my most anticipated games from the Game Awards are, but this is definitely up there. I'm skeptical a little bit about some of the wording, but Crime City. And this is a 90s, you're in what I believe to be like an open world Florida setting in the 90s, and it just, it has that sort of crime open world sandbox sort of vibe, at least from the trailer. I could be way off with what the description of the game actually is, but it had that vibe, and that's something that, I talked about it with you guys before. I'm craving that, man. I'm craving it. With Saints Row Reboot flopping a little bit, and like, I just think that there's a yearning for this style of game that nobody's really catering to. And with this Crime City game, it gave you little flashes of Cyberpunk with the first-person perspective. It gave you some flashes of, your Sleeping Dogs, True Crime, Streets of LA vibes. But I'm curious about this. It has Michael Madsen in it. It has like, what's his name? Danny Glover. It has a pretty freaking Chuck Norris. It seems to be really not taking itself seriously at all. And I think it's going to work to the game's benefit, as you're seeing just so many games, your God of Wars, and you're just, a lot of games are taking on that real heavy tone and wanting you to submerge yourself into this dark story. And I think that there is, like I said, a real yearning to go back to the Grand Theft Autos of yesteryear, the Saints Rows, and I think if this game is tapping into that, which I don't know if it is or not, I could be way, way, way off the mark here, but it felt like it was, and there was even some scenes of like a car chase, or at least it looked like a car chase, and if it's tapping into those roots, then I think we're going to have a real hit on our hands here. But the only thing I'm skeptical about is you can play it single player or play it with friends, and that just doesn't always go over too well. You know what I mean? It just, sometimes that overall, that hurts the overall narrative for the game. And yeah, so we'll see how that works. But next up, speaking of open world crime games, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. And the only reason I'm including this in here, this is something we already knew about, but we damn sure didn't know about Idris Elba being a one of the new characters in the game. Idris Elba is going to be voicing a new character in Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. He'll be chilling alongside damn Keanu Reeves. That is quite the star-studded cast for a freaking video game, but really excited for that. I dove back into Cyberpunk not long ago at all and was really wowed by the improvements that CDPR had made to that game in just a real short period of time. Shout out to CDPR for that. Shouldn't have ever released Cyberpunk in the state that it was in on launch, but they really got their act together, and I'm curious to see where this DLC will take us. And the last big reveal of the night, new Armored Core game, Armored Core 6, I believe. And yeah, I never really had any connection to Armored Core, but I know that the FromSoft community out there is they're really passionate about the FromSoft games, and I think that this will find a much bigger audience than the classic Armored Core games ever did. Unfortunate that it is going to be coming to last gen, but it has a 2023 release window for the time being, so we'll see how that works out. See how FromSoft figures out a way to throw in a dodge and parry button into their mech game. Gonna be really curious to see, how that game comes out, and that's something that I'm definitely interested in checking out. And last up, just quick little note here, Final Fantasy 16 is confirmed for June 22nd, 2023. Okay, so actually, you know what? Right after that, after, and we'll get into the awards and all that, but the end of the show, maybe the most surprising thing of the entire damn show, or if it is exactly what I think it is, which I do think it is what I think it is, but what I think happened at the end of the show is some kid found their way on stage and they weren't a part of, not to spoil anything for the video, most of you already know, but I don't think they were a part of the team that was given their speech for winning game of the year. And he grabbed the mic and said made some statement about Bill Clinton, I think.
Hey, Matan. Real quick, I want to thank everybody and say that I think I want to nominate this award to my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi, Bill Clinton. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Okay, and next up, let's dive into the prediction results for what I was predicting would win the awards here at the Game Awards. And we'll run through this fairly quickly here. I predicted for Game of the Year, Elden Ring would win. Elden Ring did win. Not a surprise to anybody, I'm sure. Best Game Direction, I predicted Elden Ring would win that. Elden Ring did win that. Best Action Adventure, I predicted Ragnarok would win that. Ragnarok did win that. Best Action, I predicted Sifu would win that, and Bayonetta 3 won that, which I don't know. I guess I have a tough time seeing how Sifu didn't win that, but that's, neither here nor there. That's not up to me, obviously. But Best Narrative, I predicted Plague Tale Requiem would take it, and God of War Ragnarok took it, which I don't know. Plague Tale Requiem's not as big and as ubiquitous of a game as Ragnarok. I don't think pretty much Ragnarok is going to be played by pretty much anyone who's voting for any sort of Game Awards topic at all. So yeah, I could see how Ragnarok took that. It is a great story, but I really think Plague Tale Requiem was just something else. Best Art Direction, I shouldn't have predicted this now looking back on it. I predicted Scorn would take it. Elden Ring took it, and then yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why I would predict Scorn would take it. That's a much smaller scale game than something like Elden Ring. That was a pretty stupid pick. Dude, I think Scorn is deserving of an award like that, but yeah. Best Performance, once again, this is another really stupid one, just kind of going with maybe my heart a little bit more, going with what I think should have won it. I predicted that Man Engage for Immortality, Marissa Marcel, I predicted she would win it, and Christopher Judge won it, which once again, Ragnarok is just, it's humongous. And he had a solid performance. Best Indie Game, I predicted Stray won it. Best Debut Indie, I predicted Stray won that. Most Anticipated Game of 2023, I predicted Zelda to win it, and Zelda did win it. So that puts me to a total of 6 out of 10. And then, to be clear, I only vote on the awards that I have knowledge of. I don't want to vote on categories where I only played 1 out of the 5 games nominated or whatever. So that's why I predicted, or picked those categories to predict from. All right, and now let's dive into the announcement predictions that I made. I predicted that we would see a new Kojima game, either Overdose or Death Stranding. You can give me half a point there because, I probably shouldn't be allowed to pick 2 games to give me a point there. So I'll take half a point on that one. But obviously, we did see Death Stranding 2. I predicted Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. We did not see a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. Predicted Jedi Survivor release date. we did see that for March 17th, like I said, and I predicted that before it was officially announced. I have let me see here. I put my video out on November 17th, and then it was officially confirmed on December 5th. But it was like still a safe prediction. There was rumors of this and stuff, so it's not like a way out there on a limb prediction, but just want to throw that in there that I didn't predict this after it was already officially confirmed. I just predicted it after it was rumored. So still a very safe pick, but I'm taking the damn W. It's hard to get the W's on this shit. There's most of my predictions here I fell way short on. This next one is weird. Dragon Age 4. I predicted a Dragon Age 4 cinematic trailer, and it's weird. They released this like cinematic story glimpse trailer like a couple days before the Game Awards, and it almost made me wonder, because it was a nothing ass trailer again, and it almost made me go, did Keighley turn this shit down? Like, did Keighley look at this and go, dude, we already had one of these a while back. Like, you got to come with something stronger than that. It almost made me kind of think that might have been the case here for Dragon Age 4. But yeah, and also on that trailer, it's coming to last gen consoles, and you're talking about a game that's probably not going to release until 2024. I mean, that's just fucking abysmal, man. I also predicted that Lies of P would get a release date trailer. That did not happen, unfortunately. I predicted that AEW would get a trailer that announced it was coming to Game Pass day and date. That didn't happen, and it was also disproven. Like, there was the rumor going around that was the case, and then it was picked up, and I believe someone officially confirmed that at AEW that no, this isn't happening. You're not getting your damn AEW game on Game Pass. You're going to have to buy the damn thing a la carte, and more power to him. I maybe being a little bit, hopeful there, thinking that I could jump into AEW without having to pay for it. But that is not going to be the case. Assassin's Creed Mirage quick gameplay trailer. Predicted that. Did not happen. I find that to be a little bit weird, though. I'm wondering when they will slot that in, because I believe they're trying to launch this game mid-2023. So you're going to have a big blowout, which Ubisoft does have their own forwards and stuff like that. So maybe that's where we will see Mirage pop up at next. Alan Wake 2 release window trailer. We did not get that either. And that's another one. Remedy recently confirmed or stated that they are on track to hit a 2023 release date. And so I was thinking that this would be the time where they pop up and let that be known. But I don't know. With that not showing up here, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Alan Wake 2 slipped until 2024. And then I predicted Suicide Squad release window, and we actually got a specific date that we will be seeing Suicide Squad, which it'll, like everything, probably be delayed from that as well. But we did get a release date, so I'll take that as a W. And then I predicted a Diablo 4 release date, and got that one as well for June 6th, 2023. I didn't talk about that because it wasn't like a huge deal in my opinion with the trailer, and once again, that was another one that was rumored for a while. So if you're not including rumors here, I didn't perform too well at all, but let's see. Yeah, I'm sitting at about 3.5 out of 10. If I got to take my half point there for the Kojima game. And if you're wanting to say, you got to throw rumors out and I can't be rewarded for predicting the games that were already rumored beforehand, that I'm looking real rough, man. You got to take Jedi Survivor off that. You got to take the only thing I would have got was the Suicide Squad, because that's the only thing that I officially predicted. Because I don't know, some of you may be watching this that didn't watch my announcement reveal predictions video, whatever the hell I called it. I specifically listed out the games that I predict would be there, and then the games I hope would pop up. And with the predictions, I just went way, way safer across the board on all of that shit, because you start getting into like the stuff that I really, really want to be there. Like, of course, I know a lot of those big titles aren't going to pop up, but there were some, like there was some shocking omissions, in my opinion, from the Game Awards. Like, you're looking at Xbox not really having a presence at all. You're looking at your Spider-Man 2s that's supposed to come out in 2023, and then a lot of that PlayStation stuff that they have in the works with their, well, I mean, no, actually, I take that back. With like Final Fantasy 16, Returnal, I believe, showed up early, like at the pre-show, so they had a little bit of a presence. But really shocking to not see something like, your Starfields, Hellblades, your Forza Motorsports. Like there's some stuff at Redfall. Well, I guess Redfall has had enough, but well, no, because it hasn't had an official release date, I don't believe yet. Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, just going off the top of my head here, but there's a lot of question marks in the Xbox ecosystem, and I was thinking that they could definitely use the Game Awards, that platform, to clear up some of that confusion and get some dates out there. But that was not the case for the show. But damn solid show, man. I gotta say, I really do not have many complaints with that. And like I said, that's not a full list of the things that got me excited. Like Scars Above was shown off, and it looked very similar to your Returnals, and it looked really, really interesting. What's his name? Hellboy had a reveal at the very beginning of the Game Awards that I thought was actually going to be The Wolf Among Us 2 there for a second. I was like, oh shit, okay, let's go. But I loved the Hellboy movie back in the day. I thought the art style was so unique and specific, and I think it's coming from the group who published the John Wick Hex game. And so it's kind of got that, indie, slightly under double A scale to it. So I'm hoping that this can be just like this badass brawler in that space. So, and obviously with a smaller budget, but just cool mechanics and doing some unique shit. So there was a lot here that really I was surprised by. I gotta say, I think this show was pretty damn good. Of course, there like I said, there's sections in there where you're sitting there watching ads for a long time, and you're like, damn, can we get back to something a little bit more interesting, or more game focused or award focused? But overall, I really don't have many complaints with that show. I thought that show was pretty damn solid. So that is my review for the Game Awards 2022. Let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on the show. Did you enjoy it? Did anything that popped up that I didn't talk about here in the video that really got you hyped? Anything that I did talk about here that got you hyped? What is your most anticipated game for the Game Awards 2022? Let me know all that shit down in the comments below. And yeah, man, I appreciate you all for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.